Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Here on Shows, Style, and Spirit, I am Ebony, and I want to talk about Carlos King's most recent Monday Night Live show, where himself, Claudia Jordan, and Dustin Ross, they reviewed Love and Marriage Huntsville, and they are talking about the scene between Martell Holt and Maurice Scott. When Maurice tried to romanticize and, just fumble around, but at the conversation and the accusation that Martell made about Maurice and Marceau allegedly being with the same woman during them hanging out in Vegas one time. And you have to listen to Claudia Jordan and Dustin Ross. They give their commentary. They question, how an attorney could pretty much get served in a scene with someone for a reality TV show. And Dustin is going to express his frustration with Maurice, just playing around with this guy and not really saying, I did not do that. And of course, he's going to be cursing and putting it down as it should have been. So we're going to get into it quite soon, but definitely hit the like button on this video. Everything that I'm saying is alleged and just my opinion. And the Copyright Act of 1976 says that my fair use commentary on this soundbite is allowed. Okay, so let's go ahead and listen to what they have to say, and I'll be back with my commentary.
I'm not really here for Martell. I think he's a narcissist, and I feel like he likes to play in people's faces. And the way he was laughing and all that, it was kind of annoying. But the story is, the story is the story. I mean, it is possible to hit an animal. It is possible to hit a tree. I mean, I don't know if it's an animal, a tree, and a pole. That seems like a lot. I don't know. Do you think he hit a tree? Did he hit a tree, Dustin?
Yes. I think exactly what he said happened is what happened with that damn car accident. I'm going to tell you what the problem is, though. The reason that there's even any room for question is because Maurice is all this intellectualizing that he's trying to do of like Martell's motives and waiting to tell those details and talking about the evidence this and the evidence that. We not in court, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody care about none of that. That approach ain't landing. It's not landing with the fans. It's not landing with with Martell. And Martell tore Maurice up in that scene, and it made me so mad to watch because it was Martell doing it. How do we end up losing a battle of plausibility to Martell fucking Holt, of all people? You understand what I'm saying? That was frustrating for me. Maurice, the facts are the facts. You were clear. Maurice was clear from his DUI case, right? Mm-hmm. We can let that go. You know what I'm saying? If he was somewhere else, Kimmy, no. You know what I'm saying? And obviously they still together, so it is what it is. But like he said, those were the things that happened. He hit that animal, he hit the tree, he hit the pole. Some people feel like it was a strip pole in the club after he left where he was going. Other people feel like, but that's not the point. That's not the point. You know what I'm saying? That's not the point. The point is, Maurice, you got a nigga sitting in front of your face telling you was fucking that girl in that room, and I don't care. And if you a lawyer, and if we lying, sue me.
My ankle's no longer bothering me. My shoulder's no longer bothering me. Like, I could barely even turn. So I started taking it because I know that
when you're being disrespected like that in your face, you can't try to over-intellectualize shit and come with these alternative theories. I think Martell is just he's hurt, so he's lashing out at me. Stop trying to find a workaround with all of this and just address it head on and handle him. This man that's sitting in your face making these very serious allegations towards you, who has been known to be the walking, talking definition of deceit. Right?
Yes.
How dare you try to hold me in moral court about something? And then Martell said in that scene, laughing and paying for the cameras, all that shit was an act. It ain't nothing that irritates me more than seeing a person fake laugh. Like try to make themselves appear to be laughing harder than they really are. That's so cringy to me. And that's what Martell did in that scene because he was playing to the audience, trying to have a moment. I'm going to laugh at how ridiculous this is. Talking about I don't lie. Martell Holt said in the scene talking about he don't lie. When we watched
that was actually made me laugh out loud.
Ain't that rich?
Doesn't it feel like it's because it's the messenger? like anyone else saying that, having that conversation with Maurice would have been different. But because it's Martell, who is a known like mess, liar, cheater, all of the above, all the things, right? It seemed like he thought he could have some more high ground in that scene. And
you can't when you're dealing with certain people. There's no room for all of that. Listen, I'm a person who I'm non-confrontational. You know what I'm saying? I try my best to make shit just go right. You know what I'm saying? Keep it player, keep it smooth. But sometimes you have got to go ahead and get a motherfucker up off of you. And that round of questioning, we are not in a deposition. We ain't nobody being deposed. You know what I'm saying? This man is sitting across from the table telling you that you fucked some girl in the room with her. Okay, and you start asking him all these questions. I feel like he's a nice guy. No, he's not. He's the same person that did what he did to Melody all these seasons on this show. It's the same exact person. Nothing has changed. So this whole romanticizing that Maurice was doing was so frustrating to watch on that show. That's why Kimmy was looking at him like that every time he talked about it. How many more times could Kimmy say, no, he's not? I don't know why you're trying to reimagine this character profile of this person. And then once it started hitting Maurice, and then Maurice was saying things like, this is another thing that was shocking for me while I was watching. Maurice saying things like, I don't know what Marceau did. When this person is sitting across from you telling him that he flew a woman out to hung out and went multiple places together. You know he's saying he did that. So address that. Stop talking in language that absolves you of direct responsibility or direct implication and just handle your motherfucking business in that scene with this man that's saying this shit about you and your family. You understand what I'm saying? We're not here for the theories, and nobody's gonna say, you know what, that Maurice is smart as whip, because you see how he theorized that and came with that. You know what? Maybe that is what nobody's doing that. What we're doing is watching that scene saying, damn, Martell is literally sitting in his face with a brazen audacity that is so, it just makes you feel like that lady in Clue when she was like, flames on the sides of my face, flames. It makes you feel like that, like you feel hot, heaving flames as you're watching the shit, because you can't believe that this man is mocking him in that way, talking about, ain't you a lawyer? Sue me. That was so, Claudia, am I tripping, or do you feel?
No, as a lawyer, I mean, as a former journalist, or as a lawyer, like that wasn't, a lawyer should be able to argue his point a little bit better than that.
So and don't be a lawyer in that scene, be a real nigga and cuts his motherfucking ass out.
Yeah,
that's what you do in that thing. Nigga, I did not fuck her. You a liar, and it's gonna be coffee all over this bitch. You say that shit one more motherfucking time. That's what you do.
It's almost like, you know, when some people come, like they're in
Yes, so Claudia question, she said, I would think that a lawyer would be able to argue his side a little bit better than that. But Maurice couldn't. He totally got handled by Martell in that scene. And who would totally get bossed, get handled by Martell LeVar Holt, who looks like he can barely count to 20? My goodness. But he did, and Martell was fake laughing, but he was laughing at the guy on his account of the accident, hearing new things. Now it was an animal, a tree, and a pole. Now, just a quick side note, I live in an area that has a lot of deer, and like the local papers for like the township paper will say, you know, that you should hit the deer. You should not avoid it. You should not try to swerve and avoid the deer, because then you could end up hitting things like a tree or a pole, or you might hit someone's car, or you might hit the curb, which will then cause your car to accelerate, and then you could hit like someone's house. So of course you don't want to harm any animals, but between the possibilities of what the accident could be and the deer, you are encouraged just to go ahead and hit the animal, unfortunately. So I am opposite of Dustin in regards to what Maurice was saying. I do not believe that he hit all three, the animal, the tree, and the pole. In my opinion, he either hit the animal and that was it, or he hit one of the other two things, the tree or the pole. But I just feel like that was the most ridiculous conversation two grown men ever had. And then for the you know, reported lawyer with the Juris Doctorate to get sunned and handled by Martell in a scene. It's just like, what is the world coming to? My goodness. But Dustin said, forget all of the romanticizing and the philosophical language. Maurice couldn't even go lawyer on him. I thought that was totally on point. Carlos was silent, as you could hear. He basically let the two of them speak. At the end of the video, he said he was so glad that they recapped the latest episode, just the three of them, and not with any on-air talent, because Martell would not have been able to handle what Claudia and Dustin had to say, especially Claudia, because she is a woman. In the last 5 minutes of their show, Claudia was saying that Martell was basically talking smack because he knows that in the contract that reality TV stars sign, also known as a release, Martell knows that none of his cast members can sue him according to that contract. If you remember, Kenya Moore made a video just within the past few weeks on her YouTube channel where she broke down the components of a release, which is a contract, again, that reality TV stars sign. And that was one of the clauses, that you cannot sue a fellow cast member because you are signing this contract knowing that sometimes your storyline could be fictionalized or exaggerated, or something about it could be, false, or puts you in a bad light. Reality TV stars sign those, so they're rolling the dice. And then plus they know that they cannot be sued. So when Martell filmed that scene with Maurice and he said, if I'm lying, sue me, he already knows that Maurice cannot do that, if that's in the release that they signed, allegedly Maurice. So kudos to Claudia and Dustin for their commentary. Do I think that they get compensated? Because this is, at least to me, it's more so than just like an hour and a half every week, because he's asking them to watch the show. And I feel like they genuinely are. I don't think Carlos is just slipping Claudia some notes and then she's drumming up an opinion. I think she is sincere when she says she does not see it for Martell. She thinks that Martell is a narcissist. I think that is all is sincere, and it's in line with Claudia's, her energy is typically pro-woman, pro-Black woman. So I think that her commentary is sincere. So they're watching the show, then they have their viewpoints. They film the Monday Night Live show on Carlos King's YouTube channel. I'm sure that he compensates them for their time, absolutely. But I do feel like he is letting them have their sincere commentary. They may not totally go in. They may not just flat out say, the show sucks. It hasn't been the same since like season 2. And the show will never be the same without the ultimate star, Melody Cherie. They may be not saying that, but I think for the most part, he's letting them have their authentic commentary. Now, I am curious to know if Martell will ever be on the Monday Night Live show to face Claudia, because she will totally eat him up if he tries to go, sexist and chauvinistic on her. But what do you all think about what Dustin Ross and Claudia Jordan had to say about Maurice and Martell's latest scene together? I thank you all so much for checking out this video. Please hit the like button on this video and please subscribe to the channel. I made my overnight oats right before I filmed this video. Now I am about to take a shower and go to bed, and I will talk with you all soon. Bye.